coached by Omobabirin presents 9 speakers, 9 topics, 1 platform, the Global Brand Summit. Featuring career, entrepreneurship, leadership, personal development. Meet the speakers. Roach Mamabolo, founder, the Laura Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Joyce Daniels, social engineering practitioner. Dugbe Akiseun, talent development and management professional. John Obidi, new media consultant and founder, Head Start Africa. Morayo Brown, media content creator, convener and anchor Your View. Christabel Ikben, CEO, Christabel Ikben Consulting Limited. Bayo Adenka, author, 30 career lessons I learned along the way. Staliana Abobu Kesta, founder, principal partner, Kate CEO Nigeria, and Omobabirin Adeola Oshideko, convener, the Global Brand Summit. Schedule, date 23rd to 24th April 2021. Time, morning section 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and evening section 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Venue will be disclosed to only registered participants. Sign up now at bit.ly/the Global Brand Summit for free.
Hi everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a beautiful Friday morning and we are so happy to be alive today. I want to warmly welcome all of you to the Global Brand Summit 2021. My name is Omobabirin Adeola Oshideko and I am privileged to be the convener of this summit. I am also the founder of the group coached by Omobabirin, a Facebook community of over 20,000 members. Once again, you're warmly welcome. And this is just my welcome message to usher us into the summit. And I want to tell you a few things you should be expecting in this summit. This summit is all-encompassing. It's around 4 major areas. Number 1 is leadership. Number 2 is career. Number 3 is entrepreneurship. And number 4 is personal development. So those things we are going to be talking about in the summit is going to be around those 4 areas. And I want you to be expectant. I want you to get your notepad ready. I want you to get your pen ready. I want you to get your internet fixed, your data, your headphone, your phone fully charged, and come along with us on this journey. Once again, you're welcome. And on behalf of the team of this summit, on behalf of all the admin of the Facebook group coached by Omobabirin, and on behalf of all the admin of the group, I want to warmly welcome you to the Global Brand Summit 2021. Once again, you're welcome. And my name is Omobabirin Adeola Oshideko. I'm going to be bringing in the moderator. I am not going to be moderating this. So we have Joseph Eliasin all the way from Johannesburg in South Africa. So he is the one that will be moderating this session, and I am going to be bringing him right here. Don't go away, stay with us. Hi, Joseph. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning from Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. How is
How
Johannesburg
are you
today?
today?
Very well, thank you. And
Johannesburg,
I hope you're also fine.
Johannesburg, we are doing well. It's sunny this morning. And thank you so much for organizing
It's also
this.
sunny here.
Okay, that's
Thank you
good.
for being part of this great event. It's good to have you online on board. Okay, so I'm going to be handing over to you right now. You're going to do a brief introduction of yourself and, of course, the speaker. Then we'll dive right into the business for today. So, guys, I'm going to be leaving now. I leave you in the safe hands.
Before I
I
let
want
you
people to
go,
believe you're safe.
before I let you go,
Okay.
can you please give us just 1 minute? I know you did a brief introduction. Could you
Okay.
just, as an organizer, as the convener of the Global Brand Summit, tell us a little bit about you? I know you are coming later today, but I want some people who are here to just hear a little about you so that they don't run away this afternoon and tomorrow. Just a little about you, but
Okay.
also how did you come up with this concept, and what can we expect from the Global Brand Summit? Over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Joseph. I am the coach with the sauce. That's the first thing.
I like that.
I am the coach with the sauce, and I don't serve it if it's not hot. Okay, so once again, my name is Omobabiri Adeola Oshideko. I'm a Nigerian, but I live and work with my family in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, West Africa. So Abidjan is a city in Cote d'Ivoire, and Cote d'Ivoire is a country in West Africa. So that is where I am broadcasting from this morning. I am an all-rounder woman. I am a woman of many parts, but basically, I am a trained accountant. I am chartered in Nigeria, in UK, and in Canada. I'm a fellow member of CPA Canada. I'm a fellow member of ACCA UK, and I'm a fellow member of ICANN Nigeria. So I am a trained accountant. But along the line, I discovered that, man, there's so much to me than just pressing calculator and computing figure. And you know, the most funny part of this accounting job is that you get to calculate money that someone else has already spent. Like you now have to sit down with the money and start calculating, oh, how much this person spend on this and on that and all of that. However, I am enjoying accounting. Accounting is very interesting job. It challenges you. It makes you to think deep, you know. But later I discovered that I actually have more to me than just doing accounting, and that is what dived me into what I'm doing presently as a personal development coach and a branding expert. So I am also an influencer. You can call me an influencer. I am an author of 5 books. I am a writer. I'm a content creator. I am what again? I am the founder of the Facebook community of over 20,000 members on called Coached by Omo Barbarian. We also call ourselves Minta's Tribe. Okay, for people who are watching me for the first time, Minta is my nickname given to me by my people, and the meaning is mommy in the abroad. Anyway, don't bother to ask about the story behind that name. It's a long story, but the long and short of it is that I love the name and I've come to embrace the name. Okay, so that's just little about me. I love people getting it right. I love people impacting lives. I love people living their purposeful life. You know, so this summit was born out of the curiosity to see that we have an all-encompassing, balanced life. Because, you know, I have discovered that most of the summits we have these days, they are all around how to make money, digital products, entrepreneurship, how you can design an online course, how you can be a businesswoman or a businessman, you know. And I said to myself, life is more than just business. And that is why I am bringing this summit here, so that we can look at so many things from different angles. There's so many people that are not even interested in business. What about that? They're interested in career. They want to work. They want to earn salary. They want to help other people grow their business. Career development. So we are bringing a career coach of over 20 years experience. to be teaching us how you can get your dream job in a saturated market. You know, we keep crying every day, there's no job, you know, but if you have the right strategy, you can easily get a job. So we are going to be talking about 4 major areas, just like I said earlier. We're going to be talking about leadership. Leadership is something that we all need to understand. What is mentoring? Right after the session, this first session, we'll be having someone all the way from South Africa who is going to be talking to us about mentorship, leadership in business, and how you can get the best out of mentorship and leadership. Okay, so we have leadership. We also have career development, where we teach people who are looking for a job how they can get their dream job. And of course, we have entrepreneurship, where we teach people on how they can leverage digital products to make money online and even offline. And of course, we have personal development. We're going to be talking a lot about personal development. And that is the reason why we are bringing our first speaker today, who is an educator, who is a parenting expert, and she's going to be telling us a lot about family, a lot about sibling rivalry. You know, sibling rivalry is something that is really, really important that we know about, because it has destroyed a lot of damage adults that we see these days is as a result of dysfunctional family background, or because of something that has happened to them in their childhood and they cannot let go of. You know, so we are going to be talking about so many things, and I want you to pay attention to all these areas, because sincerely, you're going to benefit from all of them. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach. For those who, like me, who may have a problem pronouncing your name, we just call her Coach Minta. Coach Minta has just said it all. I'm not going to add anything, maybe at the end. So thank you so much for this. And we will be displaying the summit social media, social handles, so that you can follow. Please, as the first speaker is coming in, tweet, let your friends know about this summit, because we don't want to fly alone. Let's come with friends, let's come with colleagues, let's come with family members. And I did like really the topic, the first topic. We cannot talk just business, because into personal development, there are many things involved. It's not just business, because that's where you see, if you are succeeding in some areas and you forget other areas, it's not success. So this topic, you may find it maybe wondering why a family is coming into a business or a global brand summit. By the end of the first speaker, you will have understood why Coach felt that this topic is very important. I would want to ask if you can start bringing our first speaker for the Global Brand Summit. And her name is Miss Staliana Agbobu Kesta. And then we will be introducing you and telling you about her. Hi, Staliana. How are you? Can you hear me?
I'm doing okay. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you so much for accepting to be our first speaker for this global brand. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy, but mostly people around the world who are going to listen from you, who are going to learn from you, who really going to understand a little bit about what you are doing, but also on the topic you want to deal with. But before we get there, let's first hear who is our first speaker.
Okay. My name is Taliana Agbabu Kester. I am an educator.
Just a second.
Okay.
Yes. Before we start, if people on the technical side could help me bring in a little bit about your bio before we delve into the topic. The topic is how to manage family politics, siblings rivalry as a case study. I like the topic. And good. So because we've taken some few minutes before we, instead of reading your bio, Miss Taliana, could you tell us a little bit about you, just in 1 minute before we delve into the topic?
Okay, my name is Taliana Kester. I am an educator, a public speaker, and a whole lot of other things, but passionate about seeing that children are well brought up and they have financial literacy skills from an early age. Also the fact that they are well nurtured to having the right identity, because your identity is what helps you stand out to having the right mindset.
Good.
So that's adding to what you already have.
Good. Thank you so much. And before you start, I'm going to give you 25 minutes. Is it okay? So that you can maybe get question, or you want 30 minutes?
Whatever you give is fine.
You don't want to choose?
Whatever you give is fine.
Yes, and before I hand over to you, I just want to share a little story about something that happened here in South Africa. 2 weeks ago, in a province called Limpopo, a young girl, 15 years old, committed suicide after being bullied at her school. She was bullied, and she was beaten by her classmates, and people started coming to support her. People came taking videos, started sharing on Facebook. And the young girl, when she got she couldn't really support it, and she took her own life. And that story is really bothering me inside. I'm sharing it with you because most of the things which happen into the lives of our children sometimes has to do with parents. Sometimes the way we were raised, we really want to raise our children, and sometimes it doesn't work. So if people our participants have not really understood the reason of the topic you're going to share, that is very important. Because you may succeed, you may make money. If children are not taken care, if your family you have been neglected, you don't score it success. And really for people who want global, people who want us really good to be seen doing something, we really need to take the topic of family important. So that was just to share that story with you. Over to you. You have 25 minutes. Then from there, maybe we can have a question and answers. Then we ask some of the participants to also pose some questions. Then we also share your contact later on for people who may want really to deal with you, to speak with you, to get maybe some of the services you offer. Thank you so much again for accepting to be our first speaker. We are really so honored to have you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Sibling rivalry is very, very important because sibling rivalry is responsible for the very first murder that occurred in the history of mankind. The very first murder, the very first sabotage, the very first slave trade, all was perpetrated because of sibling rivalry. And it's all in the book of the Bible. First, it was Cain who killed his brother, Abel. And then the brothers of Joseph sold him out to slavery because of jealousy, because of that unhealthy competition in the family. So you see, sibling rivalry is super, super, super important if we have to get our lives and our families on the right track. Corina Jenkins, who led the study with the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, says sibling rivalry should be treated as same as peer bullying. It is as severe and as serious as peer bullying. You know what peer bullying is? Example is the story that Joseph told us about prior to this. Peer bullying, when people of the same age group or of the same race, of the same class, bully each other for the fight of supremacy and all of those things. Now, she says, according to her discovery, that 32% of these people who have suffered sibling aggression from childhood grow up to become adults with anxiety problems. They grow up to become adults who suffer distress. And sometimes these leads to depression. So, regardless of the types of sibling rivalry or the severity or mildness of sibling rivalry, it should be taken care of. It should be treated appropriately because it has a tendency to affect the mental state of the child, which could in turn lead to severe problems in adulthood. It has been discovered by researchers that sibling rivalry could actually form psychological and physical aggression in children and adults later on. They become schemers, they become people who are haughty in their temperament, hot-tempered, if you'd like to use that. They become people who are short-fused. They become people who are competitive for everything. I don't know if among us there's anyone who has worked or lived with people who are very competitive. I have, I know them very well. There are some persons that everything about their life is a competition. It doesn't matter if they have to win a prize or not. Their system, their mindset has just been regulated to mean or to look at every situation as a competitive situation. And that is really not healthy for growing up. Now, what do we mean by politics? What do we mean by family politics? I'll start by telling you that politics is a set of activities aimed in impressing someone, aimed to impress someone's status or to hype someone's status or create a power force within an organization, a community, or even a family. Now, what do I mean? There are some children, if you look through, if you remember you're growing up, there are some persons in your family that always want to have the last say. They always want to have the last say. This, in fact, causes sibling rivalry. Because when one person tries to rule over the other people, there will be squabbles. There will be clashes. So what is sibling rivalry then? Sibling rivalry is the fight, the jealousy, the animosity, the power tussle that comes from siblings. People of the same bloodline or people of the same family umbrella. When people begin to fight for supremacy, for attention, for love, for responsiveness, it breeds sibling rivalry. And this creates pitfalls, pigeonholes, if you like. It creates pigeonholes and pitfalls in our hearts and in the hearts of these children because over time it breeds hatred. You see that children begin to develop animosity and hatred for their siblings because there is always someone who would be a favorite. There is always someone who will have mommy's attention more. There will be always someone who will have the largest share. Of course, there will always be someone who will take the responsibility for sharing. And when they share, they would not share it equally. Yes. I know. And if you would tell yourself the truth, and if you have siblings, you would remember that when they give you that chocolate to share, you will oftentimes tell your younger ones you shared it equally when you really didn't. Yes. Or the meat. Mommy happens to give you a large chunk of meat and says, okay, share and give your sibling a little. And then you share it and give maybe quarter, and you take the other chunk. All of these little things. Now, these things may look mild, but they breed, over time they become big, and they cause animosity, they cause hatred, they cause fights and squabbles. Now, sibling rivalry is a fight for supremacy. We must remember that. Most times parents are not always the victims, though sometimes they fall as victims. They're not always the victims. Either they are enablers or they become instigators of this sibling rivalry. That's how they come in. Because over time, either they are paying more attention to one sibling or not paying attention to another sibling. Dr. Creflo says this: fights, emotional baggages, and all of these things erodes a child of his self-worth, his self-image, and his self-identity. And of course, without all of these things, there is no self-image. This is why we have adults who want to be anything else but themselves. Adults who want to be everybody else but themselves. Why? It is coming from the place of, being fought, being told nasty words, being told words like you are ugly, mommy doesn't love you, mommy loves me more, mommy gives me more, can't you see, mommy gives me attention, and all of that. And this brings fights. You see children begin to stage their own fall. Children begin to, they become politicians. They begin to negotiate. They begin to scheme. I have it. In my home, I have 3 children. You see how one person becomes, all of a sudden, begins to cry for no reason. Why? Because he wants mommy's attention. Now, all of these things may seem little, but according to Dr. Creflo, if these things are not put into check, if these things are not handled, over time, they will build up into a child losing self-value, self-esteem. Why? Because over time, when I need mommy's attention, mommy says, I'm busy. When I want mommy to look at my own work or appraise my own work, mommy says, oh, that's okay. And there's no much attention to it. Right now, I'm going to show you, or I'm going to reiterate certain red flags that can cause sibling rivalry. I call them red flags because they oftentimes cause a lot of issues that affect the personality and the image of these people when they become adults. Remember, we're talking about personal development. Now, these children at the end of the day grow up to have either great personalities or have personalities that have been watered down from their background, from their home front. And it's as a result of politics being played in a way that is not very correct. So sibling rivalry can be very painful when parents do not explain to children that your siblings may not necessarily be your best friends. Children grow up with this mindset that my sibling, I made the mistake too. My first child, I actually told him that his younger sister should be his best friend. But over time, getting to learn and all of that, I got to understand that was a wrong mindset. It is good to love your sibling. It is good to have a close bond with your sibling. But telling your child that their sibling should be their best friend and only friend, that is not very correct. Because they would grow up to become adults who would want friends from other circles, friends with their kind of mindset, friends with their kind of interest. Remember, these children are different individuals. They're not all the same. So you can't just assume that they would love the same things. So the first red flag that we're going to be talking about is the proof and the stake of individuality. What do I mean by that? Every child has the right to be his or her own person. Listen, if your parents here are listening to me, you must understand that all your children are not the same. And they have the right to be their own person. These issues of trying to clone one person into another person is what causes lots of sibling rivalry in some families. Because we want A to be exactly like B, or B to be exactly like C. And that causes a lot of problems because these people have their own different interests. They have their own value system. They have what they love. They have their personality traits. As a parent, one of your major responsibility is getting to know your children, getting to know their personality makeup, so that you can help them become that independent individual that you would want. The second thing that is a red flag that causes sibling rivalry is they fight for center stage. What is politics? I said politics is a set of activities that gives you that impression or that image, right? That authority, that control over people. So every human being wants to take center stage. Everybody wants to gain attention. Everyone wants to be noticed, even the introverts. Yes, they do not want to be in the spotlight, but they want their work to be noticed. They want to be applauded for certain things. So when you give tasks to maybe older children, right? And then you pair them and you say, you do this work, you do this work. And at the end of the day, when you are praising and you applaud just the leaders, you have caused a problem there. Because even the child who didn't do much, who is 2 years old, we want to share the center stage of spotlight. We want to be acknowledged. So not acknowledging children for their individuality or their individual work causes sibling rivalry. The next thing is the threat of a new sibling. Most times, parents forget that nobody likes an intrusion. If I ask you, would you want someone to just barge into your house? The first thing you will say, hell no. Why? But you do that with falling pregnant and bringing another child. You do that. Not considering the children and how they feel. You do that. And that, in effect, causes sibling rivalry. Because all of a sudden, the mom I used to share alone with myself, for myself, with me, myself, and I begin to share mom with another human being. Not everybody understands. And children at that age don't know how to share. According to Kerwin Rae, Kerwin-Rae, that's her name. She made a discovery, or she made a research, and she said children lesser than 4 years or even 4 years old don't share. They don't share. They can't share because the frontal lobe is not properly developed, and it needs to be wired in a way that their precortex is able to understand sharing concepts. For medical practitioners, I believe that you will understand me better. Until that happens, which could take maybe another 3 or 4 years, you shouldn't force children to share. Rather, you should teach them the benefits of sharing. Okay? So that is to say that when you bring in another sibling or when you bring in another child, that mentality of children not wanting to share kicks in and they begin to fight against each other. Haven't you noticed that families that have maybe older children, let's say the first child is 6 years old before another child comes in, it's easy for the acceptance, it's easy for the bond, because come on, I've been lonely and I'm waiting for someone to come share my space with me. It's easier. Other than when the child is just 2 years old, and then you bring, or 1 year plus, and you bring another child. That child is looked at as a rival. You are my rival. You are the one that wants to share mom with me. Okay, I'm going to show you. And then you see children playing pranks of using pillows to press their siblings and all of that. That is caused by the threat of sharing the parents or the alert of a new arrival. Another thing that causes sibling rivalry, or another red flag, is parental influence. What do I mean by parental influence? Most parents cause the problems of sibling rivalry by themselves. This is why I said earlier that they are either influencers or enablers. Either they have influenced these issues or they have enabled these issues. How? I'll give you a very vivid example. Growing up in the city of Port Harcourt, on Kolokoma Street, if you know Port Harcourt and all them Kolokoma Street, their houses are closely knitted, and so you could actually hear what happens in your neighbor's house. I lived in that kind of environment growing up. And so we had this neighbor, and they had 3 children, 3 boys before the 4th one came. For whatever reason, I really don't know. I was about 8, 9 years old. For whatever reason, I really don't know. But one day, they had this family heated moment, and the mother by herself told the 3rd child that she hated him with everything. I remember going to my mom and saying, "Mom, why would Adokie's mother say she hated him? That's a bad word." At that age, I really knew that it was a bad word, and I felt so bad. Can I tell you something? Those children never ever saw eye to eye. The 3rd and the 4th child, they never saw eye to eye. Why? Because there was already this vibe of I hate this one. So the other child felt like, mommy hates you, she loves me. So he would take advantage of Adokie over and over again. I don't know what happened after then, but I can tell you for a fact, learning about children's psychology, because I work with children. Learning about children's psychology, I can tell you for a fact that that child would be a damaged adult. It would be an adult in need of love. It would be an adult who would seek love in every woman that he meets, because his mother has told him face to face that she hated him, even if she really didn't mean it. So parental influence can actually cause sibling rivalry for their children, not even knowing, And then my story, growing up, I was fortunate, very fortunate to be the first child. If you're the first child, you will relate with me better. Now, first child of several older siblings. And then God shining his grace on me, I got into school quite early, right out of secondary school. Got into school, got out of school so early at a very, very young age. And this became a problem for me. This brings me to my next red flag, comparison. I became a yardstick to measure my younger ones. Of course, growing up, I didn't know it was bad. I didn't know that it was a problem. Of course, I liked the spotlight. I liked the fact that everybody doted on me. Everybody looked at me as, oh, the good one. You finished school early, before your 20s. Oh my God, you did well. But it became a problem for me because all of a sudden, my siblings started hating on me. To them, I became Miss Goody Two Shoes. To them, I became, please, if they are talking and I come in, please shut up, she's coming. Mommy's handbag is coming, please shut up. And then it got so bad that I didn't know what was going on in the life of my siblings. They wouldn't tell me stuff. They would rather maybe tell my friends or tell other people, but they would never tell me stuff. And it so happened that, not wasting so much time at home, I got married and left. And I left the city, and it became worse because there was this huge gap, huge hole created that I didn't know about. But because of the issue of comparison, sibling rivalry had kicked in without me having full knowledge or full knowledge of the consequence. Until one year, they came to visit me and we got talking, and in that emotional moment, we all broke down in tears, and I asked them why they hated me, what did I do, what didn't I act well as an older sister, did I ever do anything? And then I had them cry and tell me how my mom always made them feel inferior. How my mom always made them, to be exactly like me. Or she wanted them rather to be exactly like me. She compared them for everything and criticized them for everything. And that really hurt me. Then I got to understand the damage that this had done. It had prevented them from being their own persons. They were confused about who to become. Should I become my sister? Should I become me? And that caused a lot of problems for some of them. Well, thank God we were able to mend fences, and then we got talking and everything. But I tell you the truth today. Yes, we are close, but we would have maybe been closer or would have bonded better if that red flag of comparison wasn't there. Another thing that could cause the red flag of sibling rivalry is not having a good family structure. Your rules and regulations not being in place. The order of seniority not being in place. What do you want for your family? You not stating it out clearly for every member of the family to know, to abide by. It can cause a whole lot of problems. Sibling rivalry can be averted if only we would put certain things into consideration. And some of those things are, first, law and order, setting boundaries. Setting boundaries of what kind of action or what kind of attitude should be condoned. What is permissible, what is permitted. Remember, whatever you permit persists. So we must be able to set structures for our families. We must be able to put things together to curb and to reduce to the barest minimum sibling rivalry. Reason being that when I shared my example, I shared my story with you. Now, imagine if my siblings didn't talk to me about that. Imagine if they kept it bottled up. Imagine if they kept looking at me as the one who causes problems in the family, because sometimes some siblings have this mindset that there is a particular child or there's a particular brother or sister that is the witch hunter in the family. Is the killjoy in the family. So they become adults and they avoid each other. There's no bond of siblinghood and all of that. Why? Because parents have not created these boundaries and these structures. So let's quickly look at certain things that we can do to avoid sibling rivalry. The first is try to avoid the temptation of comparison. Try. It is not always easy, because being a mother of 3 children, I know you always want this person to do exactly like this person is doing, or you want this person to succeed the same way this person is succeeding. But listen, remember that they are different individuals. They will not always have the same interest or the same talent. They will not always excel in the same areas. You must be able to understand that. There will be that temptation of wanting to compare them, but you should try to avoid that. The second thing is enjoy each one's success and failures. Cry with them, laugh with them. Give equal attention to everyone. When I mean equal attention, not like the same apostle. No, no, no. What I mean is find time for each person. Find time for each person. Okay. Set rules and regulations. Teach your children positive response. Positive response to situations, positive feedbacks, and how to communicate. Teach them communication skills. It is very important. You know, most of the time, I work in a school, so we teach children 5 magic words. 5 magic words. There are 5 magic words. There are 5 magic. You teach them. Please, excuse me, sorry, thank you, and pardon me. Please, parents, teach them at home. It is important. They should know when to say pardon me to their siblings. They should know when to say excuse me, sorry, thank you. These things can actually help to soften squabbles and frictions, okay? Then plan family activities that involves every member of the family, okay? Help children to learn how to work on themselves, how to work with their failures, how to solve their own problems. When they have conflict, watch them resolve it for themselves. Sometimes don't get involved. Watch them do it. Teach them how to resolve problems by themselves. Okay, be firm but fair. Put developmental stages into consideration. The younger ones, you know, you of course, having family structure, you should have privileges and consequences and all of those things. Now, put developmental stages into consideration. What you would give the 8-year-old, you cannot give the 2-year-old. Understand? Okay. So the most important thing that I would say again is this: don't play favoritism. Don't play favoritism. I've been told by parents that it is not possible to love all your children. See me looking at you like this. It is not possible, of course, to love all your children. Yes. If you try to do that, you will put yourself in a tight corner. But this is what you can do. I learned this from Joyce Meyer. If you're a believer, then you listen to Joyce Meyer. I learned this from Joyce Meyer. She said, although she was talking about God, she said, God does not love us equally. God loves us uniquely. But it helped me because it gave me an idea for my family. You cannot love your children equally, but you can love them uniquely. I'll say it again. You cannot love your children equally, but you can love them uniquely. And so because of that, I came up with an acronym, TECU, T-E-C-U. If you would remember anything from this session, remember TECU. Treat each child uniquely. Treat each child uniquely because they are all different, even twins. You know, most times we have these issues for parents who have twin children. They have these issues to think that they would be the same. That's a lie. They will never be the same because no fingerprints are the same. So treat each child uniquely and love them for their unique differences. Do not play favoritism. Do not play favoritism. Love them uniquely. Okay? It is safe to say that politics isn't so much a dirty game, and it can be played in the family. If only we will teach our children to play it right. How so? Help them develop negotiation skills, people management skills, listening skills, communication skills, as well as interdependence skills, so that this can help shape them into having the right frame of mind and having the right identity. I conclude with this. The Tecton family in Libya decided 20 years ago to start up a democracy meeting day. They chose one day a week to have a democracy meeting day. What was this supposed to do? This is the day you bring all your arsenals, all your misgivings, and all your squabbles. It is presided by the parents, but everybody is the same. They're all politicians with different political parties. I love that. And so you come to prove your point, you come with your A game. And they trash their squabbles, they trash their issues, they mend their fences, and go with a word for the week. So this is repeated each week, giving the children the opportunity to express themselves. More often than not, most children who have suffered from sibling rivalry have the issues of not being able to express themselves because they have always been shut down. So when you develop something like the Checkton family did in Libya, you would be giving your children tools to express themselves, whether in the family or outside the family, building and developing strong personalities that cannot be pushed down, but given high thumbs ups to fly and color the world wherever they are. Thank you.
Wow. Let me give you those thumbs up before I say anything. Wow. When Coach Minta brought this topic, I was wondering, how does it connect with business? How does it connect with a global brand? But now you have really enlightened us that I think we should get another day where you could really speak to us about those issues. You just said you've got 3 kids, right? 3 children. Wow. And someone commented in my inbox, they were saying you should, when you're closing, you should give them something which you are using, which makes you look younger. That is the first comment I received. I think some have been maybe you have 1 child, but really, thank you so much. Thank you for this topic. I did enjoy how you really introduced with the example from the Bible, and then you came now giving us clear example of what we see in our lives. I've got also 3 children, but there is something which really piqued my mind when you say you cannot love all the children the same. I ask myself, do I love them same? I'm not sure. But one solution you just brought, but you can love them uniquely. Thank you so much. We're not going to have time for questions, but because of time, there's another speaker coming in, but we're going to ask for those who had questions to pose to you, to really engage with you. I don't think you don't mind people contacting you on your contact address, which will be displayed just after now. Are you okay with that? Good. No, thank you so much. Maybe to conclude, if you can unmute yourself and share a little about how do we get in touch with you, but what other services besides, I know you are an educationalist, I know you do mentorship, what maybe 1 or other 2 things people who really want to go global should really contact you on the side of a family, on the side of education and other things you do. You have just 1 minute. Just 1 minute now.
Okay, thank you very much. I do identity coaching, personal development. If you are lost, you don't know where to go, how to find yourself, bring yourself to the center stage to run, I'm your go-to girl. And then I also help children gain financial literacy skills to become entrepreneurs themselves.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I think I will give my firstborn. Lately, I've given him 1,000 and asked him to come up with a project. He has been thinking. He never comes. But when it comes to buy beggars or toys, he's number one. But the whole past month, I think I need to send him to you. Really, thank you so much, and I really apologize that we didn't get enough time to really unpack all these issues. But I'm sure Coach Minta will make a plan maybe so that we can have maybe a 2-hour where we invite some of the group's members, the Facebook group members, to really come and we unpack these issues. I think you don't mind about that. So we thank you so much. We're going to have a second speaker, but before we have the second speaker who will speak, now we are done with the family things. Now we are entering the real business. We just done one topic on the family. Now we are going into the business. But before that, can we have a short video as we prepare to ush in the second speaker, please?
Coached by Omoba Birin presents 9 speakers, 9 topics, 1 platform, the Global Brand Summit. Featuring career, entrepreneurship, leadership, personal development. Meet the speakers. Roach Mamabolo, founder, the Laura Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Joyce Daniels, social engineering practitioner. Tukwe Akiseun, talent development and management professional. John Obidi, new media consultant and founder, Head Start Africa. Morayo Brown, media content creator, convener and anchor Your View. Christabel Ikben, CEO, Christabel Ikben Consulting Limited. Bayo Adenka, author, 30 career lessons I learned along the way. Staliana Abobu Kesta, founder, principal partner, Kate CEO Nigeria, and Omoba Birin Adeola Oshideko, convener, the Global Brand Summit. Schedule, date 23rd to 24th April 2021. Time, morning section 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and evening section 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Venue will be disclosed to only registered participants. Sign up now at bit.ly/the Global Brand Summit for free.
Good. Thank you so much. So, as I just said, and we have just kicked off the Global Brand Summit. The Global Brand Summit, it's a summit being organized by Coach Minta, but her real name is Miss Omobabirin Adeola Osideko. She's based in Cote d'Ivoire, but most of her work is in Nigeria and around the world. So one of her really, she's a woman who wants to support other people. She's not that person who wants to fly alone. So that's why she organized this Global Brand Summit, entering for free. We're not paying anything. We just get our books and our data. Then we come really to get that top-notch knowledge. So our second speaker, if the technical team could help me bring in so that we can kick off the second topic, which will be on mentorship for life and business success. Good. Our guest is joining. Wherever you are watching from, if it's on Facebook or a YouTube channel, please help me to welcome our second speaker, Dr. Roche Mamaboro. He will be speaking to us on mentorship for life and business success. I think we are ready to go. Hi, Baba, can you hear me? Our second speaker is joining. Can you hear me, Mr. Mamabolo? I think there may be a little technical glitch, but we will be sorting it out. Let's try again to bring him in. Hi, thank you again. We will be kicking with the second speaker. Let me know if the technical team has managed to bring him in. Let me know so that we can.
Coached by Omobabirin presents 9 speakers, 9 topics, 1 platform, the Global Brand Summit. Featuring career, entrepreneurship, leadership, personal development. Meet the speakers. Roach Mamabolo, founder, the Laura Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Joyce Daniels, social engineering practitioner. Dupe Akiseun, talent development and management professional. John Obidi, new media consultant and founder, Head Start Africa. Morayo Brown, media content creator, convener and anchor Your View. Christabel Ikben, CEO, Christabel Ikben Consulting Limited. Bayo Adenka, author, 30 career lessons I learned along the way. Staliana Abobu Kesta, founder, principal partner, Kate CEO Nigeria. And Omobabirin Adeola Oshideko, convener, the Global Brand Summit. Schedule, date 23rd to 24th April 2021. Time, morning section 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and evening section 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Venue will be disclosed to only registered participants. Sign up now at bit.ly/the Global Brand Summit for free.
Good. Thank you so much. We had a little technical problem, but we are ready to go. Wow. Thank you, Baba. How are you?
I'm good, and you? Can you hear me?
Good. If you can mute a little bit, so that I can let our audience about you, and then we quickly let you then you can unmute. But before I say just anything about you, when the convener of this summit spoke to me and she shared the list of speakers, and I saw your name there, The first question I asked him, how did you get this man? Till now, she has never shared with us how did she get hold of you. Maybe I will explain you the reason why. My name is Joseph Eliapsan, and I live in Johannesburg. And I know you are a busy man. You are a busy man, but I'm so honored to be speaking with you during this summit. I told Minta that since you have accepted our invitation, the summit has been already a success before even you speak. We are so honored to have you here with us. Let me share, maybe our audience might be asking why I'm so excited, but they will find out just now. Our second speaker will be talking on mentorship for life and business success. And there is no better person who can speak about these two topics at the same time rather than our speaker. Roche Mamaboro is a qualified accountant. He is an entrepreneur. He is an author, a training facilitator, and a business mentor. He is the founder of an entrepreneurship academy called the Rora Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. He wrote his debut book called The Startup Revolution, Fit In or Stand Out. That was in 2014. He is so passionate about entrepreneurship, innovation, and technology. He blogs most of the time on this topic, mentorship, business. And the one thing really I like about you, it's your passion to support, to uplift young people. We have seen in unemployment around Africa, and then later I have been reading that here in South Africa, the unemployment is at least at the 35, and people think that that is actually not accurate. People think it may be even around 50% among young people. So our speaker today is the best person to speak about us, but also to bring that needed energy so that we can also stop doing things, little things in our own corner, that so that we can aim to go global. So our speaker, one thing, he has mentored over 50 entrepreneurs from various business with an annual turnover ranging from 500,000 to 10 million. He holds a BCom in accounting, an honors and an MBA in finance, and a PhD in entrepreneurship. Help me to welcome Dr. Mamabolo into our midst. You have 25 minutes, and then we can take the 10 minutes just for a conversation and also answering questions, if you are okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joseph. I'm hoping that you can hear me, right? So thank you so much. It so happens that a few minutes ago, in South Africa, we have this new innovation called load shedding, which basically means power cuts. So I just experienced a power cut a few minutes ago, so hence the technical glitches. But thanks for the invitation. Thanks for the introduction. So I've been asked to share my thoughts on mentorship, which is something that I've been doing for quite some time. And it's something that I'm very passionate about. It's something that I often do with entrepreneurs on a yearly basis. I deal with a different types of entrepreneurs. But I thought before I get into the talk itself, before I get into, I love stories, and I would like to share one or two stories throughout my 20-minute discussion, and I'm looking forward to hearing, the questions that you might have. I want to share a story of a guy that I actually think he is the most underrated, under-celebrated mentor, of all time in South Africa. And I want to give this story of a guy who's a lawyer in the apartheid government in South Africa, was arguing a case. He was a human rights lawyer in South Africa, Advocate Dumanokwe. So Advocate Dumanokwe was in the Pretoria High Court arguing a case. And it's a heated case about one of the most atrocious laws in South Africa on carrying a pass. You would know that in South Africa back in the day, if you were not carrying a pass, like an ID of some sort, you would be arrested and you would spend 90 days in solitary confinement. So here's Advocate Dumanokwe arguing a case, a heated case on one of the apartheid pieces of legislation. As he's arguing a case, the emotions get high, and as the emotions get high, the judge decides, let's take a break. Let's take a break and cool off, and let's come back after 15 minutes or so, and let's resume the case and the discussion. So in that break, Advocate Dumanokwe decides to go to a tea room. So he's about to get into a tea room, and he's agitated. He's about to get into a tea room, and he's refused entry into the tea room. And he tries and finds out, why can't I enter into the tea room? And they say, no, because you're black. You can't enter into the tea room because you're black, and this tea room is mainly for white advocates. And he gets agitated even further. And as he's getting agitated, he's trying to argue with the person who's preventing him from getting into the tea room. And he's like, where do I lay a complaint? I want to complain about the treatment that I'm getting here. Comes an old fellow who was sitting at the back, following the case very closely, and he's known as Walter Sisulu. Walter Sisulu is the guy who, is one of our struggle heroes in South Africa, one of the most underrated struggle heroes in South Africa. And he goes to Dumanokwe, Advocate Dumanokwe, and he pulls him on the side, and he says, but what's the issue? And Advocate Dumanokwe explains to him that, you know what, they're refusing me entry, and I want to complain, and I want to lay a complaint, and they can't do that, and things like that. And in his calm, always calm, level-headed voice, Walter Sisulu says, look, you can argue about being refused entry into a tea room and spend your energies fighting the law, you can ignore it and focus on the case at hand that you are arguing right now, instead of the small matter of being refused entry into the tea room. Go and focus your energies on the case that you are fighting inside in court now. Forget about being refused entry into the tea room, right? And what Walter Sisulu is saying to Advocate Dumanokwe is, he's saying focus, right? Don't get carried away by the things, the small things that are not really what you should be focusing on. Focus on the case at hand. And if you should win this piece of apartheid legislation that's unjustified, if you can focus on winning that case, right, there is a high probability that you can actually change the laws that are governing entry into the tea room, into the small tea room. And what Walter Sisulu was saying is he was guiding, he was mentoring a seasoned lawyer to say focused on carried away and focused on the piece of legislation that is apartheid system. And we know for a fact that over the years, through legislation, through a whole lot of mobilization, apartheid was defeated. But what Walter Sisulu, who was the mentor at the time, is he was able to have the calm, the level-headedness to say to a citizen advocate, focus, right? Which is very important, because in our lives, we get carried away doing what we are doing, and we forget to keep the things that should be front and center to be front and center. And through having an accountability partner, through having a mentor, a huge lawyer, a successful lawyer, was held accountable to focus. And I find that story to be quite fascinating, because we often think we get to a level or a point in our lives where we don't need a mentor or an accountability partner. And for me, that story is something that continues to keep me sober. And Walter Sisulu, by the way, happens to be a mentor to the former President Nelson Mandela, right? Walter Sisulu, no one knows. He's this guy who is always behind the scene. He's the guy who's always observing, who's always learning. Walter Sisulu is the guy who welcomed Nelson Mandela when Nelson Mandela arrived in Johannesburg. He housed Nelson Mandela in his home when Nelson Mandela came to Johannesburg for the first time. Walter Sisulu is the guy who mentored Nelson Mandela, who introduced Nelson Mandela to OR Tambo, and he was able to say, I know you, I know what you stand for, I know the values that you stand for, and I'm going to introduce you to somebody who I know the both of you, the combination of you can form a lethal form. This is the role of a mentor. Somebody who takes a step back, somebody who's able to say focus, somebody who's able to say, I'm going to bring my contacts, and with your skill, with your aptitude, I know the right person, and I'm going to connect the two of you. And we all know that the combination of Nelson Mandela and O.R. Tambo formed one of the lethal combinations that overthrew an apartheid government. And I found that story to be quite amazing. I find Walter Sisulu to be one of the greatest mentors that the world has never heard of. And I think it's one of the most important things when I say to entrepreneurs, it's important that you get a mentor. And the reason why a lot of people don't have mentors or don't see the need to have mentors, and it's quite fascinating. I was reading, and it's one of the most popular books globally by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And there's one thing in the book that stood out for me, and for me, it was a game changer. When Stephen Covey talks about the whole notion of being dependent, independent, and the fact that as human beings, we always strive to be independent, right? And he gives this whole, progression. We start as kids. We are young, we are babies, we are toddlers, we are teenagers. We are dependent on other people to take care of us. We are dependent on our parents to take care of us, to feed us, to house us, to look after us. But as we grow older, we always want our independence. We always can't wait to get that job. I can't wait to get that salary, because I know if I get a job, I'll be able to look after myself. I'll be able to buy myself things. I won't rely on other people. I'll be independent, right? We always, when we look for a job, we start a business, we always say the goal is to be financially independent. The goal is to be independent from other people. I want to be my own boss. I want to be, this person who can stand on his or her own. And what Steve Covey is saying, and because we all believe that, I believed that when I left corporate and I started my own business, I always believed that the goal is to be independent, financially independent from other people. And what Stephen Covey is saying, he says, actually, the highest level of maturity is not being independent. The highest level of maturity is what he calls being interdependent. In other words, my success is not just dependent on me. My success is dependent on me having a team of people that I'm going to work with, on me having a sounding board that I'm going to throw my ideas at, and they're able to advise me. So what Stephen Covey is saying is the highest level of maturity is not independent, but the highest level of maturity is being interdependent on one another. And when I thought about that, and actually realized that anything worth doing, anything worth doing is worth doing with others. Right? You're not going to achieve a big, you're not going to build a big organization being independent all by yourself. You need to rely on a team of employees that you work with. You need to rely on your suppliers. You need to rely on your customers. And if you are able to build that relationship, that interdependent relationship between yourself and your team members, you're right, they get the work done, you are able to also compensate them. You depend on them to help you build this big legacy. They depend on you for you to provide leadership, for you to provide inspiration, for you to provide that salary that they need so much. So anything with building is you can't do it by yourself. And I always say, and I share this with entrepreneurs, that you should not try and want to do things by yourself. In Africa, we have the saying that it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village also to raise a business. We need to also have a village that you are going to build relationships with the community, with the customers, with the employees, with everybody, so that our business can grow. So success, financial maturity is not just being independent, is being interdependent. And if you are in a relationship, you depend on each other. You don't want to be independent while you are in a relationship. You don't want to act single while you are in marriage, right? It's a partnership. We are interdependent on one another. And that's what mentorship is about. It's accepting and coming to that maturity that your success is dependent on you having a sounding board, on you having somebody that you depend on, and them also depending on you. And understanding that, you'll also appreciate the fact that you need other people to share this entrepreneurship journey with you. You know, we always say if you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, you walk with others. If you want to build a lasting legacy, you're not going to do it by yourself. You need to depend on other people. The goal is not to be independent. The goal is to be interdependent. And I want to, with that, share about five traits that you need, right, in a relationship. 5 traits that you need in a mentorship success. And I think it's important, firstly, to understand that you are not going to achieve success by yourself, right? You need somebody who's going to hold you accountable, right? That accountability partner, somebody who's going to say, like Walter Susulu was saying to Advocate Dumanokwe, look, focus, this is the most important thing. This year is not important. Have somebody who you are going to confine in, somebody who's going to hold you accountable, not to their goals, but who's going to hold you accountable to your goals, right? So having an accountability partner is like somebody saying, I love you, you know, and I love that saying that when somebody holds you accountable, it's another form of saying, I love you, because they want to see the best in you, because they want to see you succeed. So number 1, get a mentor, right? Don't try and do this life thing by yourself. Have somebody that you are accountable to, right? Somebody who's going to keep you on the straight and narrow. If you look, especially in Africa, if you look at leaders who don't have accountability partners, often those leaders end up being dictators, right? Because nobody holds them accountable. They become a law unto themselves. It's very dangerous if you don't have anyone that you're accountable to, because you ultimately end up becoming a law unto yourself. You do things as and when you feel like doing them, and nobody comes and say you are off track. Nobody comes and say you are on track. So having an accountability partner is somebody who keeps you on the straight and narrow, who keeps you accountable to your goals. So it's important that you have an accountability partner, right? Also, it's important that as you have a mentor that is holding you accountable, have what I call co-partners. Have people that you share this journey with. They can be your peers. You know, when you go to the gym, right? When you go to a gym, you want to have somebody who is going to be your gym partner, because it's easier if you don't feel like going to gym in the morning, on a Monday morning or Monday evening. Your gym partner holds you accountable. Your gym partner says to you, let's go, right? It's like a train track. So when you have a train track, the train tracks are always moving parallel to each other. So you want to have somebody who's going to be a train track with you, so that as you are all moving in the same direction, should you go off track, they're able to pull you back on track. So you want to have somebody who, even though you have a mentor, even though you have somebody that you meet once a month or once a week, that you keep your promises and that they keep you accountable to your promises. You also have somebody that you go to gym with. You also have somebody that you share this journey with. So have what I call co-partners. Have somebody that you journey with. Somebody that if you feel like you're not up to the task, they pull you up. And also maybe tomorrow they themselves feel demotivated, and you also pull them up. So it's important that you have somebody that you share this journey with. That's number 2. Number 3, belong to a tribe, right? The Global Brand Summit is a tribe, right? So you want to belong to a group of like-minded people. You want to belong to a group of people that think the same, right? So if we all are going to a gym and I have a gym partner, how about we join a aerobics team, right? So we go in there once a week where we are part of an aerobics team, where there's 15 of us, 20 of us, we all come together at the same time and we do the same thing. Find your tribe, right? It's important that you belong to a tribe. A tribe, there's a TEDx tribe, there's a Global Brand Summit tribe, there's different tribes that do different things. Find your tribe, belong to a tribe. You'll find that the environment affects how you think. So if you find yourself in a tribe, we always say if you want to quit alcohol, you have to belong to an AA group, right? An Alcoholic Anonymous group, where you share stories, where you share struggles. So belong to a tribe. So firstly, get a mentor, somebody who you're going to meet once a month, who's going to keep you accountable. And with the advent of globalization and the internet, a mentor can be anywhere in the world. You can meet once on Zoom, right? So distance is no longer an issue. So get a mentor. 2, get a co-partner, right? Somebody that you share the journey with. 3, right? Belong to a tribe. Find a tribe that you are going to be part of. And then 4, if needs be, get a paid coach, right? If needs be, get somebody that you pay on a monthly basis, who's going to now go deeper and coach you, who's going to do assessments on you. What are you struggling with? Let's do this assessment. What are the results say? And you pay them and they coach you, and there is that financial commitment. Number 5, and I find this because some people will say, yeah, but I'm afraid of approaching people, and or these people are not available, they're too busy, and all those kind of things. Number 5, you can actually get mentors through, for instance, reading books, subscribing to blogs. People who blog share their ideas, they have videos, they're on YouTube. Find that person that you're going to follow them on Twitter. What do they tweet about? I mean, the biggest mentor globally at the moment is Elon Musk, right? People have subscribed to his Twitter account. They follow his tweets, and sometimes I even don't understand his tweets. I ask myself, what is Elon talking about now? Because he's got these very cryptic tweets. But people follow his tweets when he's on Clubhouse, interviews, when he's smoking marijuana in some podcasts. They follow him, they listen to him, whether it's Jeff Bezos, whether it's Alinko Dangote. They follow these people, they follow their interviews, they read their books, they watch their YouTube channels and all those kind of things, right? That's another way of getting a mentor, where you follow these people online, on their Twitter, on their blogs, on their YouTube account. So number 5, read books, subscribe to their blogs, subscribe to their Twitter channels. So for me, those are the 5 things that you need to look at. There's no excuse to say I don't have a mentor, right? Technology has made it accessible. Why do you need a mentor? Because you need somebody who's going to hold you accountable, right? An accountability partner. So it's important that you are able to do those 5. Get a mentor. Secondly, get a co-partner who on a daily basis you're going to share this journey with. Number 3, get a tribe of like-minded people. The Global Brand Summit. Follow their Facebook group page. Subscribe to their emailing list, right? Be part of a tribe, right? Number 4, get a paid coach, right? Get somebody who you are going to commit your financial resources to be able to coach you. And number 5, if you don't have the financial resources, get a book, subscribe to their book, subscribe to their YouTube channel, follow them on Twitter. It's important that we become teachable. It's important that we are able to be harmful. But also, if you are somebody who you can mentor, find somebody who you're going to mentor. There's this Zulu principle called Sawubona, right? Sawubona, it means we see you, right? It means I see you. So it's a greeting. It's more like hello or namaste. So when I say Sawubona, I means I see you, right? It means I'm able to, I'm acknowledging you. I'm acknowledging your presence. I see you, right? Sawubona. So when I see you and I meet you, I'll always say Sawubona, and you'll say Yebo, yes, I see you too. But what does Sawubona means, right? It's a Zulu principle. What does it mean? It means that not only do I see you, it's in plural, it means we see you. So why is it that when I meet you, Sawubona, and I say we, what I'm actually saying is, it's not only me that's seeing you, but it's me and my lineage. It's me and my ancestors. It's me and the people that came before me that I am representing. So when I see you, they also see you, right? But also what's important is I acknowledge you. I acknowledge your presence in front of me. I bring you into existence, right? What we need to see, what we need to acknowledge as people who mentor, we need to see other people. We need to be able to acknowledge other people, irrespective of the level of status they hold in the community. We need to bring people into our existence. We need to acknowledge them. We need to be able to say, I see your potential. I see what you don't see, and I'm going to mentor you. I see what you don't see, and I'm going to help you bring that potential in you into existence. We need to see other people. If I'm successful in one aspect, in one area, I need to see other people. I need to bring them into existence. And I want to close with this story. Again, on the Nelson Mandela tip. One of the amazing stories in one of the books of Nelson Mandela, where he was CEO of a big company, listed company in South Africa, and he was hosting that CEO for dinner, and the CEO was coming to his house in the evening for dinner. And what former President Mandela would do is he would wait for his guests when they open the gate and the guest comes in and he's been driven by his chauffeur, right? He would wait at the door to welcome his guest. And as this one time the guest arrives and he's been driven into the yard, Nelson Mandela in his short and floral shirts, he's waiting for the CEO to come through. And as the CEO comes through, the driver walks out of the car and he goes and he opens the door for the CEO to come out. And the CEO comes out, and Nelson Mandela greets the CEO. And true to Nelson Mandela's form, he also greets the driver. How are you? How is the family, right? And the CEO was a bit surprised, but being Mandela, he saw the driver, right? And he greeted the driver. As they walk in and they're going into the dining room because they are going to have dinner, right? They set up the table and there's 2 plates on the table, right? And they walk in, Nelson Mandela grabs his chair and the CEO grabs his chair as well. And Mandela is surprised. He said, but there's only 2 plates here. He calls the chef in the house to say, please bring another table. Not another table, another plate, right? There's 3 of us here. And the CEO is like, 3 of us, okay. I thought it's going to be just the 2 of us. Who's the 3rd person who's going to join us? And President Mandela says, no, but you came with somebody. Where is that person? And the CEO says, no, he's my driver. He's going to wait in the car for me. When I'm done, we're all leaving. So he's just the driver sitting in the car. And Nelson Mandela says, no, that's not how we as Africans behave. Please call the driver to come and join us so that the 3 of us can have dinner. Now you have a situation where the former President Nelson Mandela is not only seeing the CEO, the person who's at the highest level in the organization, but he also sees the driver, and he says, I see somebody who is supposedly at the lower level, and I'm inviting them to come and have dinner with the president, with the CEO, and he's the driver. And what this story symbolizes to me is even when we have succeeded and have achieved the highest levels of excellence in society, we need to continue to see those who we deem as below our levels, and we need to mentor them. Doesn't mean that because you have succeeded, you cannot see other people. And the Sawubona principle, for me, it means we need to see people into existence, the level of status they hold in society. And for me, it's that principle that is important. And I would like to leave you with that, to say, Sawubona, I see you, I see the potential that you have in you, and I'm willing to spend my time to help you realize that potential. On that very note, thank you so much.
Wow. Sawubona. Sawubona, Baba. We can see you. We can see you. And I love the way you concluded that. It's like you knew what you want to ask you, that please be with us in this journey. We are still, some of us, we're still young, but really be with us, guide us, so that really we can be able really at one point to say, we worked with you and this is what we have achieved. Thank you so much, really, so much appreciated. I'm going to quickly check if there are questions, but before I bring the technical team brings the questions or comments, I really want to thank you the way you brought this topic, the way you really unpacked it. Mentorship is sometimes not given its value. Many people just try their best on their own. When they fail, that's where they remember that there was something which they did not do right. And I remember a quote once said by a person whom I can't remember where, who said, mentoring or mentorship is a brain to pick, is an ear to listen, and a push in the right direction. There was no better really person who could bring it right. And I want to share with you just little. The organizer of this summit is actually my mentor. And when I went for a course she organized sometime a year ago, and she showed me things I never really knew. And she worked with me, and in the space of let's say 6 months, when she mentored me, things changed. I started getting awards from here and there. I started getting on in every corner. But there's something, and I would really want, as we close, to help us, especially African young people. We always complain that, oh, we cannot, and you did really allude to it on number 4, on financial resources. We always say, oh, we don't have any financial means so that we can pay a mentor or a coach. But we found that most of us, every evening, we buy ourselves a glass of wine or a cup of tea or a bottle of a beer. If you take at least 3 bottles of wine in a 1 month, but you cannot really get some resources to invest in in someone to coach you. What advice can you give to African, mostly, I know this is a global, but most African really young people who want to try, they fail, that's where they remember that they're supposed to have gotten a mentor. Please advise us.
So here's the thing, Joseph. It's the time that people, what I've picked up through my experience, the time that people look for a mentor, right, is when they're stuck, right? Is when they realize. Remember, Stephen Covey, he says the goal that people have is always to be independent, and we feel we don't need anyone else. We feel we can do this by ourselves, can go this thing by ourselves, and maybe at some point we get stuck, we make a mistake and we lose everything, right? And until then, until we lose things around us, then we start to wake up to say, I can't do this by myself. I need help, right? And unfortunately, that time I find that it's a bit late because you've made such big mistakes. You might be in financial ruin, or you might have lost things, right? And until then, you then wake up to say, I need somebody who's going to help me on this journey, right? I then going to look for other people. And unfortunately, that's the thing that as entrepreneurs I've picked up. And what I'm saying is, if you don't have a mentor, and that's okay, right? Maybe at that point you're not ready enough to have a mentor. Belong to a tribe, right? Have a group of like-minded people, right? That are going to, the language itself. Because once you belong to a group of like-minded people and you see how these people are behaving, the language they use, and you are going to get to a realize that these people have mentors, and it's actually fashionable for them to have mentors. Discussion they'll talk about, I have this mentor, I have that mentor. You actually realize that I also need to have one. And then the environment is important, right? That it drives you towards specific thinking. And you're spot on. I mean, we spend so much on airtime, on what other things, but I can tell you, if you say to a person, get a mentor, they're not going to get a mentor, right? Even if you show them, and that's what I've been trying to avoid, the benefits of these things are available. They're available in Google. They're available. The benefits of a mentor are available. But it's the psychology where a person on their get to that realization that I need saving. It's like in church when people are not ready to be saved, right? No matter what you do, they're not going to be saved. They need to get to a point where they're saying, I can't do this by myself, right? And that's the unfortunate part. I mean, in say, go out there and fail on your own. And once you're failed on your own, you then realize that you can't do this by yourself. You need a mentor. I so wish people don't have to go that route. I so wish people who are able to say, let me have support. I have a mentor a long time. And to your point, so much when I feel depressed, when I feel down, right, I give them a call and I have like a 30-minute discussion with them, and they're able to say, you know what, I've been through worse. What you're going through is nothing. You're being a spoiled brat. Pick yourself up and go out there. right? And it sobers me up, and I go out there and I do it. So there is, you can't, the Italians, Joseph, life is so hard. You need a father and a godfather, right? So business is so hard. You're not going to do this by yourself. You need to have somebody who's, if big company, called GE, can have a board, huge, can have a board of directors. How about you? While you are still a startup, you even need 5. You know what? You can't do this.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really appreciate
Coached
your time.
by Omobabirin presents 9 speakers, 9 topics, 1 platform, the Global Brand Summit. Featuring career, entrepreneurship, leadership, personal development. Meet the speakers. Roche Mamabolo, founder, the Laura Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Joyce Daniels, social engineering practitioner. Dupe Akiseun, talent development and management professional. John Obidi, new media consultant and founder, Head Start Africa. Morayo Brown, media content creator, convener and anchor Your View. Christabel Ikben, CEO, Christabel Ikben Consulting Limited. Bayo Adenka, also 30 career lessons I learned along the way. Staliana Abobu Kesta, founder, principal partner, Kate CEO Nigeria, and Omobabirin Adeola Oshideko, convener, the Global Brand Summit. Schedule date 23rd to 24th April 2021. Time morning section 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and evening section 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Venue will be disclosed to only registered participants. Sign up now at bit.ly/the Global Brand Summit for free.
Good. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Over to you. And as you close for us, please remind us what are the topics for tonight or this evening and what time, and then who are the speakers, including you. Thank you so much. See you later today. Bye-bye.
My God. So I have been muted all along. Oh, my. I've been muted all along and I've spoken so well. Okay, I have to start all over again. I just discovered that I have been speaking to myself. Okay, I want to say a very big thank you to our first speaker, Stanella Kester. Thank you for that amazing session. And I want to say a very big thank you to our Papa, all the way from Joburg in South Africa. Thank you so much for that amazing session on mentorship as related to career and business. Thank you, Joseph Elipson, all the way from South Africa as well. I'm so glad that we all have gotten so much value from this live broadcast. My name is Omobabirin Adeola Oshideko, and I am streaming live from the city of Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire is a beautiful country in West Africa, and I'm so delighted to have all of you on this live broadcast. So I want to believe you've all gotten value, because personally I've gotten a lot of value from both the first speaker and the second speaker. And we're going to be wrapping up the morning session just right now. But before we go, I would like to tell you a few things you should be expecting in the evening session. Of course, I'm going to be the first speaker. Coach with the Source is going to be the first speaker for our evening session. And what will I be talking about? I'm going to be talking about how you can leverage international opportunities for global relevance. You've played local for so long. Man, you need to go international. You need to go global. And that is why we have this Global Brand Summit. You are not a local champion. Even though you're a local champion presently, we want you to, step up your game to the international level. So by 4 p.m. this evening, 4 p.m. Nigeria time, I'm going to be streaming live, and I'm going to be talking about where are these opportunities we're talking about? Where are these international opportunities? Where can we get them? What benefit can we get from them? How can we leverage these opportunities to be able to get the best out of it? And immediately after my session, the prominent Mariah Brown is quite a popular face to people in Nigeria, especially. So she's going to be coming online to come and teach us how we can also leverage the media. We have 3 types of media. We have the social media, which is very familiar to each and every one of us. We have the broadcast media, which is the television, the radio station, and all that. And which other media? We have the print media, which is our newspaper, our magazine, and so on and so forth. So she's going to be coming around by 5 p.m. today to come and teach us how we can leverage all these 3 types of media in order to get the best out of them. And I'm very sure she's coming with a lot of value, and you're going to also enjoy the evening session as well. So thank you once again for joining. But before we leave, let's just play this video and we'll call it a day. Thank you.
Would you like to be a TEDx speaker or organizer in 2021? Pay attention to what you stand to gain. It's time you stopped playing the local game. It's time you go global. Start leveraging on international platforms. When you speak on international platforms, especially the TEDx stage, you become the go-to expert with more leads, more sales, more credibility, more exposure, more influence, and of course, more money. But it's not just about money and fame. TEDx is about being on stage, connecting with people in a real way, sharing new ideas, and making the world a better place. TEDx gives your brand more exposure and more visibility, and you can get seen, get paid, and get heard. Introducing OpenX, the organizer TEDx Benjavel or Mababirin Adeola Oshideko, an international speaker with over 5 years experience in public speaking, is ready to hold you by the hand and take you through the journey. In this program, you will learn how to become a TEDx speaker, how to apply and become a TEDx organizer, how to get more international speaking invitations, how to organize international events and source for speakers and sponsorships. Webinar fee costs only 9,999 naira. See the testimonials from cohort 1 and hurry now to register, as registration is open for cohort 2 at bit.ly/OpenX webinar. Registration closes April 30th, 2021. Please note that you can take the webinar at your convenient time.
So thank you, everyone. I will see you all by the grace of God in the evening. Stay healthy, stay safe, keep winning, and keep glowing. Bye.